What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the all-new Supercross Black Series carbon bars. Now there's a ton of videos on YouTube of how to install carbon bars, and a couple of my teammates have actually made videos of installing their carbon bars, but I got my own, so today we're going to be putting them on the bike, and if we have time I'm taking them out to the track and we're going to test ride. These pro size Supercross carbon bars are the same exact geometry of the infamous flatline Supercross bars, so if you ride flatline bars you will have no issue switching over to these ones. Besides shaving a little bit of weight off of the front end, which could cause you to loop out.
You got heat all over you! Oh!
They do come in 3 different rise heights. They come in 7.5, 8, and 8.5 inch rise. So if you ride 7.5 inch rise, bam! If you ride 8, bam! If you ride 8.5, bam! They will accommodate your needs. These do require the 31.8 clamp stem, so if you are planning on getting these, make sure you have that oversized stem. I believe Profile makes one and Box makes one, but Supercross's sister company Speedline has been working on something that will accommodate these bars. You guessed it, a 31.8 millimeter stem to accommodate for those oversized bars. This is the Speedline MATRIX Pro Carbon fiber stem. Yes, I said that right. Carbon fiber stem. Fully carbon fiber BMX specific stem. This one specifically isn't all dressed up and ready to make its debut because it was one of the 10 that was pulled right off of the production line right after testing. So this is a pre-production model, but that's okay because when I heard how light and strong these things were, I was like, yo Bill, let me test out one of those carbon stems. And he was like, okay. And I was like, okay. Bill has also told me that one of the weakest points on a carbon bar or carbon fork is where the aluminum meets the steer tube or clamp on the bar, because that aluminum can actually cut into the carbon fiber, which can cause a stress point and crack over time and ultimately fail. So like Bill, he's always trying to improve, so he was like, let's just completely do away with the aluminum and let's make a carbon fiber stem. Fully carbon forks, fully carbon handlebars, fully carbon stem, a complete carbon front end. The Speedline stem is a solid chunk of Toray T700S carbon fiber, and it comes in at a whopping 160 grams, which is about 6 ounces. You guys might be thinking that's a little light, maybe a little too light, but carbon fiber stems have been around in the mountain bike world and the road bike world for quite some time. One of the world leaders in the mountain bike world actually has a carbon fiber stem that weighs in at 94 grams, which is half the weight of a Speedline stem, but that is a mountain bike stem and it's not designed to take the beating that a BMX racing stem would take, bombing down an 8mm hill and just getting all those G-forces that your front end really depends on. Speedline has designed their stem for BMX racing specs, but I just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek of what Bill has been working on over at Supercross. But he's got a ton of stuff in the works right now, and I know he's anxious to release it out to you guys. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Now let's put these things on the bike. So I'm literally just gonna do a direct replacement. I'm gonna pull the stuff I have off of my bike and I'm gonna put the carbon on. Once I get this stuff off, I have a little food scale right here. I don't have one of those fancy scales. So I took off my bars and laid them out, took off the grips and the brake lever, carbon bars and the carbon stem, chromoly bars and aluminum stem, and we're gonna weigh the two. So first up, let's weigh the aluminum stem. All right, set to 0, 10.38 ounces. Carbon stem, 6.5 ounces. Now let's weigh the bars. Good, nothing on top of them. 1 pound 11 ounces. Just over 13 ounces, so that's less than a pound. Now that we've weighed them individually, let's put the stems on and see what the total weight is. Now before I put the carbon bars on the carbon stem, there's this stuff called carbon paste. And what carbon paste is literally little microscopic pieces of glass formed into lubricant. Basically, you put it on two slippery surfaces, mainly aluminum or carbon fiber. And since you can't wrench down on carbon fiber because it'll crush the carbon, you have to torque it down to a certain spec. Usually that isn't quite tight enough. That's where the carbon paste comes in. It basically creates more friction between the two slippery surfaces and locks it in place. All right, I have both sets of handlebars on the stems. I didn't torque down the carbon yet because I still have to put them on the bike and get everything fine-tuned. This is the torque wrench that I'm going to be using to torque down my carbon stem. If you don't have a torque wrench and carbon paste, Supercross actually has both of these on the website where you can buy them in a pack. So you can get your carbon bars and stem, you can get your torque wrench, and you can get your carbon paste. The only thing that I would recommend you get is one of these 6mm bits that you put inside of a drill, and this bit just slides up into here so that way you can put it in there and torque it down. So the test for all the weight weenies, here we go. We got the chromoly bars, aluminum stem. Let's go ahead and put these bad boys on the scale that's zeroed out. So we have 2 pounds and almost 5.5 ounces. And let's put the carbon fiber. Oh my God, that feels so light compared to that. 1 pound, almost 4.5 ounces. So that shaves off an entire pound off of the front of the bike. The steer tube on the Speedline carbon forks is also carbon fiber, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of carbon paste on that as well, just so everything's nice and solid. So I have everything pretty much set up the way I want it. My bars are nice and straight. I have them angled at the way I want them. The only thing I have to do left is just tighten everything down and just torque it. These bars and stem are rated for 6 Newton meters, and that's exactly what this tool is, so you don't have to do any kind of like measuring or setting or anything like that. All you got to do is twist it until it clicks. And I always go back and forth when I'm tightening my bolts, just so I know everything is nice and even. That side is nice and tight. Up here on the stem, I've always done cross, just so I know all of my bolts are nice and tight and evenly. Got the new bars and the stem on, everything's straight, tight, torque down, ready to go. Carbon paste, everything's checked out. I'm gonna clean it down. Let's go ride it. I'll be honest with you guys, now that I'm out at the track, I'm a little nervous. Not because I think something's gonna fail, because I know Bill's been testing these things for like the past 3 years, but anytime I get something new, I'm kind of iffy about it. And just the thought, I've never ridden carbon bars, let alone a carbon stem, so I'm kind of nervous. Plus I couldn't like torque them down as much as I usually do, so we'll see.